What's up guys, welcome back to this channel once again. When people talk about the greatest sprinters in the world, one name that always comes up is Elaine Thompson. She already has built an incredible legacy in track and field, and performances like the ones in this video show exactly why she is often called the queen of the track. Watch the full video because after the race finishes, I'll come back and talk about what stood out and why Elaine Thompson continues to be one of the most dominant sprinters in the sports. Credit goes to the original creators of the videos.
Elaine number 2 for the Bahamas, Elaine Gaither, a semi-finalist at the Olympics last year, also ran 11.17 seconds in the semi-final. The Bahamas being represented in lane number 2. In lane number 3 for Nigeria, Rosemi Chukwuma, Commonwealth Relay bronze in 2018, 10.99 seconds at her best, just outside 11 seconds to qualify for this semi-final. Lane 4, Elaine Thompson-Herah, the fastest woman alive, 5 times an Olympic champion. She starts in lane 4. A huge draw for Daryl Neater of England in lane number 5, the fastest qualifier, 10.90 seconds. The second fastest British woman of all time starts next to Thompson-Herah in 5. In lane 6, Julian Alfred of St. Lucia, second fastest in qualifying for this final, 11.04 seconds, 10.81 at her best. Lane 7, Zoe Hobbs of New Zealand, a semi-finalist at the recent World Championships in Oregon, 11.15 to qualify for this final, just shy of her lifetime best. And completing the lineup in this women's 100-metre final, she'll start in lane number 8, Grace Unwo Oku-Ocha, the Nigerian national champion. 11.06 in the semi-final, 10.97 at her best. So the women's 100-metre final, White, Gaither, Chukwuma, Thompson-Herah, Neater, Alfred, Hobbs, Oku-Ocha of Nigeria. Silence falls across the Alexander Stadium. The final event here at 9:45 here in the UK. And will it end with gold for Jamaica or England or Nigeria? 8 athletes, 1 race, 1 Commonwealth gold medal. Absolute silence.
Set.
Well, it's a clean start, it's a pretty even start as well. The Nigerian going well in lane number 3. Thompson-Herah, though, the Jamaican running well in lane number 4. Elaine Thompson-Herah takes the gold medal here in Birmingham. 10.95 seconds. The 5-time Olympic champion, the 100 and 200 metre champion in Rio and Tokyo at the Olympic Games, the athlete that had never won an individual Commonwealth medal at all, takes the gold.
Gave her a little shock late.
Well, I should never have questioned one of the best 100-metre runners of all time. She just stepped up and got that job done. She wanted that victory. She didn't want anyone else to take that Commonwealth Games title.
So she made a statement by coming here, didn't she? After being 3rd at the World Champs, I said, Lucia, get a medal. She ran superbly, Alfred. She closed with about 10 metres to go. So she gets the silver, and I think Neata's actually got through for bronze. She came from the clouds. She has. It's confirmed. So it's Jamaica, St. Lucia and England.
She does look a little bit disappointed because she knows that she really blew that start then. The race was done and won within 5 metres.
No doubt about that. And we saw it in the semi, but she was able to pick up, but there was no Thompson-Herah or Alfred in the semi-final. So the 3 winners of the semis go 1, 2, 3 in the final. The form book holds up. So there's 5 Olympic gold medals, the second fastest athlete of all time. She's done the double-double. Bolt did the triple-triple. She's the only one to do the double-double at the Olympics. And now, here we go. So Nita, oh, so slow. And Thompson's out well, and so's Alfred and Hobbs.
And what Thompson-Herah did so well was her drive phase. So she reacted well, but then those first 8 steps were so quick. And just that next 8 steps as she was getting gradually up into her running, she really made the gap on the field. And then she was just able to relax and do what she does so well, just throw those legs out and run over the top of the ground.
So it's 10.95, 11.01, 11.07. She's got such experience, hasn't she? Came to the Commonwealth Games as a rookie, so to speak, in 2014 and ran a heat in Glasgow. Went to Brisbane, went to the Gold Coast when she was out of real top form, really. Used that for training early in the season. But here's the start. Nita's so slow. Thompson right there, Chukwama right there, Alfred right there, and Hobbs.
She just has great biomechanics, Thompson-Herah. She's got the high hips and she's got that beautiful arm action. And the relaxation through her face while she's running 10.95 is just unbelievable. This top angle is brilliant to watch too. What Thompson-Herah does so well is she stays in the middle of her lane. She doesn't waste any energy by drifting to the side. That was a fabulous run.
And competitive. It was just about here that I thought Alfred had the slightest of chances, but the champ wasn't coming back. Hobbs gave a great sign. So what a night we've had. Jamaica to the 4, just the 3rd time that they've won. It's been 20 years since it, or rather it was in Melbourne, wasn't it, in 2006? So not quite 20 years, 16 years since they've been successful in this event. On a gorgeous night in Birmingham, and there's the official result of the women's 100 metres.
Olympic champion over the 1 and the 2, and as of last night, the Commonwealth champion over the 100 metres. Watch out as well for Beth Dobbin of Scotland. European finalists, semis in Doha and in Tokyo last year. Dobbin will go in 4, and Beecher of Australia should feature in 6 as well. Well, this is Aminaf Mohammed, just 17 years of age, on the outside. A really tough lane for her, with the likes of Thompson-Herah coming through from the inside. Such a young, inexperienced athlete that hopefully she'll really soak it up. Isila Outcook of Papua New Guinea, PB earlier this season. She's gone inside 25 seconds and will need another PB to get anywhere close to the shake-up. This is Jacinta Beecher, semi-finalist in Eugene over the 2. PB in Japan for that 22.7. 24-year-old coming into her very best form. Mauricia Prieto studies at the University of Alabama, national champion for Trinidad and Tobago. Just off the podium in the Pan Am Games with 3 of her teammates in the 4x1. She's gone inside 23 seconds, but not this season. Now listen to the reception for Great Britain's and Scotland's Beth Dobbin. The St Andrews flags are flying high after Eilish McColgan's gold in the 10,000 last night. Dobbin in 4 with Denisha Cartwright of the Bahamas inside her. PB in Division 2 of the NCAAs earlier this year. And now to the Olympic champion and the newly crowned Commonwealth champion over 100 metres. We've had a lot of the women's finalists from last night not starting. Not the case for Thompson-Herah, fully embracing the Commonwealth experience, and the championship is richer, much richer for her participation. Thompson-Herah of Jamaica in 2, Cartwright Bahamas in 3, Dobbin Scotland 4, Prieto Trinidad in 5, Beecher Australia 6, Apcup Papua New Guinea in 7, Mohammed the Maldives in lane 8. Excellent qualification so far. And Bomber 23.2, Das 23.4, White Jamaica 23.6, and Afili from Nigeria 22.71. What will we see here from the newly crowned 100-metre champion Thompson-Herah in lane 2, 5th heat of the 200 metres.
Set.
An expectant hush around the stadium. You can hear a pin drop. Thompson-Herah has Cartwright to chase. Going well is Beecher. Coming round that bend with Beth Dobbin also in the mix for one of these top 3 automatic places. but Thompson-Herah is floating down the track. Dobbin closing in on Beecher. Herah jogs across the line. Dobbin second, Beecher third, 22.80. She's 900 slower than Ofili from the previous heat, but that looked utterly effortless. She's helped a little bit by that handy tailwind, but I don't know about you, Steph, I'm just so impressed at the maturity of Thompson-Herah and how much respect she's paying these Commonwealth titles by being here.
100%. When I was holding my breath until the start of the heats, waiting to see if she would come out, and especially after so many athletes did have the DNS. And again, I think that just speaks to 22.39 in the World Championships for 7th place. That's still a great time, but for her standards, it wasn't enough. And this is someone who has come back determined to write her own story to end off this season. It was a great start from Thompson-Herah, but also from Dobbin and from Beecher. And again, the 200 rounds, you have to put the work in up front, and you can kind of see a bit later on down the race if you can take the burners off. We see Elaine as she gets into her smooth running, but Dobbin and Beecher are still fighting to make sure they're going to be in that top 3 automatic qualifying place.
Yeah, it's just brilliant to have her here. Beth Dobbin, such a popular British and Scottish athlete, coming through to outdip Beecher. And by the way, the non-automatic 6th spot has now tickled its way up to 24.49. Cartwright of the Bahamas from this heat. It was previously Bayou of Papua New Guinea, but Cartwright, who had a decent run there, the young Bahamian, is just about holding on to a non-automatic spot, but that was nothing more than a jog there at the end from the Olympic champion. I think she's just determined to race as much as she can when she's feeling fit, because despite the fact that she's a quadruple individual Olympic champion, not even bringing into account the relays, over the years intermittently she's had a torrid time with all sorts of injuries, and she's obviously come here feeling like she's in the mood, feeling like she's in the groove. She's done the 1, why not the 2?
I think as an athlete, you never know when your time's going to be done. You have to take every opportunity you can when your body is fit.
Well, you can see the strength of that wind that was helping Elaine Thompson-Herah, but she was met by enormous talent. At 22.80, Beth Dobbin coming through to outdip Beecher. Prito already guaranteed a place in the semi-finals, because we've only got one more heat to come. Cartwright just about holding on to a non-automatic spot, but we'll keep a close eye on 24.4.
Welcome back, guys. Watching races like that really reminds you why Elaine Thompson is considered one of the best sprinters of this generation. Let's start with the 100-meter final. Winning the race in 10.95 seconds at a major championship is a strong performance. But what really stands out about Elaine is not just the time. It's how she runs the race. One of the commentators mentioned her drive phase, and that's a very important part of sprinting. The drive phase is the first part of the race when the sprinter is coming out of the blocks and building speed. Some athletes struggle here because they either stand up too quickly or they don't generate enough power in those first steps. But Elaine's drive phase is very efficient. She pushes hard out of the blocks, stays low for the right amount of time, and gradually builds speed. That smooth acceleration is one of the reasons she's able to take control of the races early. So another thing that stood out is how relaxed she looked while running fast. So this is actually a key trait of elite sprinters. When athletes tense up, especially in their shoulders or arms, it can slow them down. But Elaine keeps her upper body relaxed and her strides smooth. That's great sprint mechanics. It allows her to maintain top speed without wasting energy. Now, looking at the podium, we also saw strong performances from Julian Alfred of St. Lucia and Daryl Nieta from England. Both of them ran competitive races. Julian Alfred in particular has been imagined as one of the most exciting young sprinters in the sport. Seeing athletes from different countries pushing the pace like this is great for track and field because it keeps the competition strong. But even with that competition, Elaine still managed to control the race and take the gold medal. Now, moving on to the 200-meter heats, one thing that stood out immediately was how comfortable she looked. Running 22.8 seconds in a heat while looking relaxed shows a lot of confidence. In championship racing, experienced athletes often focus on energy management. They don't try to run their fastest possible time in the early rounds. Instead, they do just enough to win the race and qualify for the next stage. And that's exactly what Elaine did here. She looked controlled, composed, and confident the entire time. Another point the commentators mentioned was her maturity as an athlete. That's something that often separates good athletes from great ones. Younger competitors sometimes treat every race the same, but experienced champions understand when to push hard and when to conserve energy. Elaine had just competed in the World Championship, so showing up at the Commonwealth Games and still performing at this level shows her professionalism. It shows that she takes every championship seriously. The commentary also talked about something called championship DNA. And that's actually a really interesting concept in sports. Some athletes perform well in regular competitions, but struggle when the pressure is high. Championship racing is different. There are bigger crowds, more media attention, and much more high expectations. But these athletes with the championship DNA thrive in those kind of moments. They stay calm, stay focused, and deliver their best performances when it matters the most. Elaine Thompson has shown that ability many times throughout her career. Another important part of this performance is the statement it makes about her legacy. Every athlete goes through periods where people question whether they can stay at the top or not. But performances like this remind everyone that Elaine is still a major force in sprinting. Winning gold medals at major competitions sends a clear message. She is still competing at the highest level. And when you look at her overall career, it's easy to understand why she is considered one of the greatest. She is an Olympic champion, a multiple gold medalist, and one of the fastest women ever, both the 100 meters and the 200 meters. Her ability to dominate both events is actually very rare. Some sprinters specialize in one distance, but Elaine has shown she can excel in both the 100 and the 200. That versatility is a huge advantage. And I think watching these races is a reminder that elite athletes like Elaine don't just reach the top by accident. It takes years of discipline, training, and mental strength. And even after achieving so much success, she continues to show up and perform at a high level. That's what defines a true champion. So, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed this reaction, please support me by subscribing. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Elaine Thompson's performance. Thank you so much once again. I'll see you in the next video.